Hello, welcome back to our Autonomous bi-weekly developer sync. We've had a lot going on over the last couple of weeks, so why don't we just dive right in? So first, Daria and I, along with a couple of other team members, were in Dubai last week for a strategic, what we dubbed, was it builders and sellers offsite. So we are getting together and kind of aligning on what our near and medium term roadmaps are going to look like, kind of what's in demand and what we're building. It was a great time. I think we have a lot of really great outcomes from that. We do want to have a little bit of time to internally kind of digest and align the internal team on a lot of the things that are going to have come out of that. So I expect to hear a lot more on our next DevSync in 2 weeks once we've had the time to do that. So that was my update. When we move to ecosystem, we have Emil. Jim's on vacation this week, so you're Jim. You're gonna deliver with a British accent, please.
Oh yeah, I'll try my best. All right, yeah, as Jeremy mentioned, I'll be stepping in for Jim today to give you all the updates. So let's dive into it. I know everyone's been eagerly waiting to hear about StakeWars 2 updates, so let's start there. Now, if you got our latest community call, and by the way, if you haven't, I really recommend checking it out. We shared tons of interesting information. You got to meet Peter, our new CMO. But anyway, back to Stake Wars. We've been working on quite a few improvements. Astral, for instance, has seen a major overhaul on both front end and back end. And I believe that Mark is going to demo it just shortly after me in a bit. Our engineering team has also tackled that pesky issue that was preventing operator nodes from syncing from scratch. Turns out it was caused by a regression on the XDM relayer, and we're putting a script to reimburse community members for those incorrectly slashed tokens. Now, we mentioned it last time, but it's definitely worth repeating. While some technical hiccups are par for the course with testnets, they really do help us polish our products. We recognize that we need some more rigorous internal testing, and we've already started ramping that up, and hopefully that will help us catch and address any potential issues earlier. So all in all, we're getting close to having everything ready for StakeWars to restart. So keep your eyes peeled for any announcements which are to come. Speaking of the announcements, I should probably address what happened over the weekend. Some of you may have noticed that one of our admin accounts on Discord was compromised, and the bad actors they were managed to post some fraudulent announcement. But thanks to our incredible team, ambassadors, and community members, we caught it almost immediately. So we deleted fake messages within minutes. I would say that probably within less than a minute, and regained control of the account. It doesn't seem like any real damage was done, but it's a good reminder to always be skeptical. If you see random giveaways, campaigns promising airdrops, or anyone asking to send some ETH in order to get some TSSC or like ATC, even if it seemed to come from our admins and through our official channels, be cautious. We do our best to follow all security practices, but these things unfortunately can happen. And our dedicated community members know that major news isn't just dropped randomly out of the blue. We usually announce big stuff during community calls and not randomly on social media. If something looks fishy, always double and triple check before clicking on any links. Okay, now on a brighter note. The ecosystem team was at the Web3 Summit in Berlin last week. It was a great opportunity to connect with projects based in Europe and Asia. And I was just describing it to my colleagues. It was a rather small conference. They only had 1,000 participants because it was like a smallish venue, which made it very, very easy to connect with people who just spoke on the panel. You get to see them basically on lunch. So it was a lot of great connections made. I found it particularly interesting because there was a big focus on growing developer communities, and we made some valuable connections, and you'll probably see some exciting outcomes from the event in the upcoming weeks. Lastly, we've made some changes to our Telegram channel that I wanted to highlight. We've introduced topics. So now we have separate topics or threads for announcements, for general chat, and also for any language-specific discussions. And they all live within our main Telegram channel. The ecosystem team has also launched an AI board, an AI support bot in Telegram, which is trained on our farming documentation and Autonomous Academy. We've seen great success with similar bot in Discord, and we know that a lot of people are actually using it pretty much every day to get more educated or to ask some questions about the project. And now we are really excited for you to try it out on Telegram as well. I think that wraps it up for the ecosystem. Yeah, back to you, Jeremy.
Great. Well, a lot happening. The Web3 Summit sounds interesting. That would be the last couple of conferences I've been to have been rather large, so that kind of smaller environment might be appealing. So, all right, moving on to project highlights. Let's start with, I know we continually get questions on this, and so progress is being made on GPU plotting. Nazar, you want to kind of update us on exactly where we're at and what we should expect to see over the next month or two?
Of course. Hey guys. So with GPU, we will have implementation for CUDA and for ROCm. We have basically final version of the code, and that is been integrated. But there are a few challenges we discovered. On the CUDA side, it's a little bit easier. It works on the professional GPUs. It works on the consumer GPUs. Basically anything RTX 20 series and newer. Actually, Volta, I believe, GPUs technically, which there are some professional cards from that architecture. On AMD side, it's a little bit more tricky. If you go to the documentation, they say that there are a few professional GPUs and only 7900 XTX GRE GPUs are supported, even though there are many perfectly good GPUs which are smaller, but they are not listed as officially supported. So I think that's something we will have to just experimentally check if it actually works. And if it does, then we'll probably enable that support anyway if we can. The other challenge is that the way the library is built right now, it only supports either CUDA or ROCm, so you cannot compile a binary with support for both. So that means we'll probably have to at least initially build separate binaries depending on what kind of GPU you want. So there will be like a universal binary for CPU and CUDA, and there will be a separate binary for CPU or ROCm. You will not be able to use with the same binary both CUDA and ROCm, but we will see if we can lift that requirement because that would be a better user experience. Either way, it's coming, I think, in the next few weeks, and there will be support for GPU integrated in the Space Acres from the get-go as well.
Very exciting. I know that's been, when did we start the process? 6 months or more ago. So great to see that coming to fruition. All right, next, I think we have a couple of demos. Let's start with Mark. We're gonna demo where we are with Astral at the moment.
Yes, so let me know when you see the screen.
Got it.
Perfect.
It's up.
So we made a bit of a few change to the sticking interface. So now you see the average block time for each domains, the evolution inside a specific epoch. So an epoch is 100 block. And these information are useful for example, when you deposit, when you start nominating someone, your funds are not actually used till the epoch change, till we move to a new epoch. And similarly, when you redraw, there is delay. There's 14,800 blocks of domain block time two. Usually it should be 2 days, but depending the block time, it can be longer. So that's information that's making it useful, hopefully. The whole table is much more customizable, so you can now like choose which columns you want to add to the table. So you can create the reports that you want, and this will change the table. Similarly, you can apply filters, you can search more information, or reset the tables. You can filters for just your own nomination. There's another view as well that I was working on, nomination, that will basically each section represents a nomination for specific operators. So regrouping all the individual deposit or withdrawal that a specific user has made to a specific operators. So this section is a bit more in the work. Hopefully later on I would like to add like APRs, like profitability index on your investment or staking. Yes, we had shown the leaderboard, I believe. We have the domain section that kind of similarly show the domains and have the same filters. Yeah, that's pretty much it.
That's looking great, Mark. Thank you. All right, Carlos. I know we're still in the early kind of POC of auto score, but I thought it'd be good just to show where we're at for that.
Cool.
So you mind giving us a bit of a demo?
Great. Okay. So basically, the AutoScore POC is like kind of an extension to the let's say the proof of concept that we had. The two things that have been added is that the generation of the auto ID now is registered on chain. Before we had some server some data in the server rather than on chain data. And also we've added this like the management of the RSA keys. And this is like the first step that we have to set up for using the Auto ID POC. That is basically like the interface for interacting with the Auto ID domain. So basically, what is happening here is that we have to provide a password to encrypt our randomly generated keeper, RSA keeper. So we set up a password, and now we can start playing. So the first thing should be creating an auto ID. Basically, the auto ID underlying is just like a number that we could choose randomly, and we could choose it randomly, but we decided to have some deterministic way to select this number. So we used OAuth systems for generating this random number. So basically, we are gonna use, for example, Discord here. So this thing, this large number, is the random generated number that is derived from the UID, and the provider, the Discord provider. And Auto ID domain relies on RSA certificates. So what we are doing here is issuing the certificate and signing it. And now we can issue the Auto ID on chain. This takes a while because it's executing the transaction on chain. . Now we have this this list that we have this item that basically says that we have an AutoID created via Discord with this AutoID, and here in this new site we could do some actions. Basically, other thing that has been added is the autoscore support that basically is giving the auto ID that we have issued some proof of humanity. So the first thing that we are gonna do is creating a claim. We are using reclaim protocol for generating these CK proofs that basically the claims that we are supporting right now are pretty simple. That is having a Uber account, a GitHub account, or a Google account. We are gonna use Google account for simplicity. Okay. Now the first thing that we need to do is install the Recon protocol app, either or on Android or on the App Store. And then scan the QR that is provided. This is a little difficult to share, but I scan the QR, I register on Google, I provide my credentials. Yep, I'm logging in. Once I've logged in the in Google, Reclaim protocol is gonna generate the CK proof that I got a Google account. And when the CK proof is created, I could submit it to the application, and this should generate the proof. Okay, so now we have the autoscore, that is our proof of humanity, that is attached to a single auto ID. And we have, for example, we set up that each claim would provide you 33 points of humanity, but this is really changeable, and it's just for the POC. And the last main feature is that we want to basically provide the verified people, like the people that have auto IDs, some special access in the Discord server that we have. So we've implemented what I'm calling apps that basically are applications of the auto ID. The single app that we've implemented is just Discord that basically links an auto ID with a Discord account. It's true that could be some difficult to understand. Like we have the OAuth provider that generates the random number, and then we have to link with Discord. But they are like two separate things. So we're gonna link this auto ID to our Discord account. This is like the new, like the authorization of Discord. We are authorizing the application to get the user into new servers and basic stuff. We authorize, and now the application is linking the Discord account to the auto ID that was generated. And this should have some auto ID. No. Something was didn't work here. Let's
so
try
far in a
again.
live demo. So far in a live demo without a hiccup. That's expected.
Yeah, it's kind of weird, but I could show you how is this sent. This is another auto ID that I have that I was using the incognito application. It could be related to using the incognito mode, could be. And basically, once you link them to Discord, this application could be shown that basically provides yeah. Basically, could be a link to the channel, to the Discord server, and then you could have the authorization for access the privileged channels, and that could be much of it.
That's great, Carlos. Yeah, was there more?
Yep.
Cool. So, so this is a great POC. Was done actually much more rapid. I wasn't expecting to have it this far while I was in Dubai, so it was great. Wanted to highlight kind of what's happening there is with we got the infinite.
Yeah, sorry.
No problem.
Yeah.
What's happening there is that we're generating ZK proofs of any TLS session data. So the TLS session data that was used there was Google, but you know, it showed Uber. We can actually make assertions on data within Uber. So we can make an assertion that says this person has taken 10 rides in the last 12 months, and maybe that's a stronger proof of humanity than just having an Uber account. And we can do that really on any TLS session data kind of. Right now, we're using Reclaim Protocol, which is great. I think they've got a pretty good developer experience, but we can make custom assertions as well. So this is just the beginning of kind of what can be done there. So thank you, Carlos.
You're welcome.
Cool. So one of the kind of more recent things we've been working on is how to create a data access layer to the DSN. This has been something that as we've been talking to a lot of potential partners and just discussing with the market, there is a lot of appetite for. So what we're working on right now is allow the querying of specific data that's been archived already and is available on the network's DSN. We're in the very early stages of this right now. I know Tior has been making progress on creating these object mappings, and we've been working on creating kind of a prototype of the layer that will act above the network for serving the data. So I expect to be seeing a lot more about this over the coming weeks and months, as this will be kind of one of the major focuses that we'll be working on. So Daria, you talking about scalability?
Yeah, I just wanted to give people an update. It's still not in the engineering phase yet, but we have recently promoted a design that we came up with from just like design to like a spec studies, and we had an engineering review with Nazara last week, and we're aligning on like engineering items. So it's good to see that our sharding design is moving along with all the other stuff that's been happening. This is more like a long-term development, but it's moving along, and we think we have like really nailed it. So it's one of the, I don't know, I think industry unique sharding designs that allows us to scale with the number of nodes. So like the more nodes we're going to have, the more shards we can support, and it's going to be great. We still don't have a cooler name for it yet. Like we've called the consensus dilithium last time. We still don't have a cool name for the sharding spec. So maybe we can accept community suggestions here.
This definitely sounds like an ecosystem contest waiting to happen. So Emil, take notes. So great. Well, I think that is all we have for this week. We'll look forward to speaking with everybody again in 2 weeks with hopefully even more information on where we are as a project. So great. We'll see you all in 2 weeks.